Before the dinosaurs walked the Earth, life was thriving on the supercontinent of Pangea. But dark times were ahead. The biggest mass extinction of all time, the Great Dying.
That's a look at the new series, Eons, Life and Death on Pangea. The 6-part series debuts Wednesday on PBS. It explores a dramatic chapter in Earth's history millions of years before the dinosaurs. And joining me now is Seattle-based geoscience educator and one of the show's hosts, Michelle Barbosa Ramirez. Welcome to New Day. Thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Wow, that looks so cool. Why is this period such a pivotal moment in Earth's history?
Oh my gosh. So the period that we're studying in this particular series is called the Permian. A lot of people haven't heard of it. I think we know the word Jurassic because of Jurassic Park. Some people may even have heard the term Mesozoic. We're going even further back in time, before dinosaurs. We're going so far back in time that life has barely started to move onto land, and everything that you think of the Earth looking like, put it out of your mind. Things don't have ears yet. Things are not eating each other yet. All of the ecologies and interactions that we understand the Earth to be like today hasn't happened. It's really, really new. So that's, first of all, really cool because it's just weird. It's a weird, weird time. But second of all, most people know that there have been mass extinctions. Like we've heard of the asteroid came and wiped out most of the dinosaurs. Yeah. That's not even the biggest mass extinction we've ever had. This one. This extinction that we're going to be talking about in this show. So we're essentially taking you through just before the extinction happened, setting the scene. Here's the weird stuff that's happening on Earth and what it looked like before dinosaurs, before humans. And then almost everything gets wiped out. Over 95% of species on Earth gone. And that's actually what ends up clearing the space for a new big bad to take the scene, and those are going to be the dinosaurs. So it's pretty interesting. We haven't found any show that is really focused on the Permian in this in-depth before. We actually haven't even really talked about it that much on our show before. So it's a new story that's really important and really weird. And when we think about the extinctions as well, we're not too worried about an asteroid hitting us right now, but the thing that led to the extinction in the Permian, rising levels of CO2.
Oh my gosh.
Maybe a familiar story.
How do scientists piece together all this because it happened so long ago?
Yes.
How do you even know the truth?
Such a great question. We don't rely on one single line of evidence. That'd be kind of dumb, right? You're building a house of cards just on one evidence. Doesn't make sense. What we do is we're looking at different lines of evidence in the rocks, in the chemistry, in the bones, in the paleontology, so that even if one of those lines ended up not making sense or not being true, we've built this house on so many different things that they all converge into a single story. So what I love about geology, and I wasn't even into science as a kid. I only really learned that geology and science can be cool recently. So I think I'm very excited about it. But I learned that looking at a rock can tell you a story. Right? A rock is not just a rock. I'll give my students a rock, I'll put it in their hands, and I'll say, what you're holding in your hands is lava. And it's true, lava cools down into a rock, and by looking at a lava rock, you can not only tell that, hey, there used to be a volcano here, but based on the composition of the minerals inside, you can tell if the volcano was a volcano like Mount St. Helens, or a volcano like what you have in Hawaii, where it's not big explosions, but smooth, running lava. So you can tell all of that detail just from one single rock if you know what you're looking for. And in this show, we're going to tell you exactly what to look for and take you to those places to see those rocks, to see those bones, to see those fossils in lots of different places all over North America. All of those rocks, all of those fossils, all of that chemistry is pointing in the same direction to the same story.
Do you think that helps make this open it up for a broader audience?
Oh my gosh, I think so. Our previous show has been short 10-minute segments on YouTube, which are super fun, but
digestible.
Yes, easy to pick up on. But we're in a studio, and a studio is fine. But as a geologist, what we really do, our bread and butter, is being out there hiking in the desert, digging up these bones. And in this series, we get to take you with us. You are going to be in fossil dig sites. You're going to be behind the scenes in museums. You are going to be chatting with scientists that normally don't get to be on the big screen. And scientists of all different types of backgrounds, all different types of places. I think it's just really, really exciting to see that science is not some boring story that's just equations in a textbook, but it's real active people figuring out this giant puzzle together.
I want to talk about that. You touched on how you have people from all different backgrounds and experiences. So how meaningful is that to get everyone together in one room?
I think it's so important. As I mentioned, I was not that into science as a kid. There's this program called Draw a Scientist that they've been doing for 50 years now, and they'll ask students to draw a scientist, and they draw a white man in a lab coat with a big old hair, you know, like the classic Einstein look, which is fine, but I'm also a scientist. I am a queer, brown, tatted up, pierced person, and I'm doing amazing science and helping people learn about science. And I, as a professor, still on a very regular basis get students telling me they've never met a Mexican person who was a scientist before, or a queer person who was a scientist before, and that now seeing that makes them feel like maybe they have a space. And to be a good scientist and to do good science, we need to be considering all the different perspectives we can absolutely have. And so if we want to be strong as scientists, if we want to have good ideas, we need to encourage that diversity in science. And so hopefully this show will encourage people to go into science. And if not, then we'll encourage them to see that the people who are doing science are people like them that they can connect with and relate with.
Absolutely. Where can people find it quickly?
People can find us on our YouTube channel, on the PBS app, and on their local PBS channel.
Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for
and
having me.
I love that you said you weren't always into science, and so there's still time for people like me and everyone listening.
Join us.
There you go.